What's up you guys, it's Ben and welcome to the channel. So for today's video, what I wanted to do is teach you how to list a product on Amazon without making any mistakes at all. There's been so many people in the comment section down below asking, do you need UPC codes? What UPC codes should you use? What images should you be using? And how to create a listing to make sure it goes live properly on Amazon without any errors. So what I wanted to do today is literally just take you step by step process and take you throughout the whole process to make sure that you list your first product successfully without making any mistakes. So first things first, we're on the new adding new products page here on Amazon, and the way to go about that is from the manage inventory page. You just go on add products here and you come up on this page. Now regardless of what product you're going to list on Amazon, if it is your product that you source from China, you will have to click on I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon, even though you may already have this product has been sold somewhere else on Amazon. Now don't bother with the browse product sort of categories or anything like that. Search for your category so you know for a fact that this is the right category for you. And in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use a yoga mat example, okay? And then I'll click on search. And here it comes up with two categories. Now, which category you choose doesn't really matter. In this case, both categories are ungated because there is no lock here image on next to the category. So you can choose either one. However, in my opinion, we should go as closest as possible. And it looks like fitness, yoga mats and mats is the closer one because we're literally focusing on yoga mats. So we select the category and then we'll be taken to the page of creating your first listing, okay? And this is the page that you guys should see. So first things first, the most important thing that you need to put up on your listing is the product ID. And this basically means the unique product identifier for your product. How is Amazon going to differentiate your product from all the others out there? Okay, and this is where you need to get a code. Now you cannot be guessing a code, you cannot just making a code up or anything like that. Make sure to buy a code from a reputable source. In my opinion, what you should go for is go for a barcode mania. It's something like here, and where you go for one barcode is £4, but in my opinion you should go for like 10 barcodes to save yourself a little bit of money, because each and every new product is going to have its own UPC barcode. So let's say you've bought 10 of these. We go back onto the product listing and then very simply we put in UPC and then we type in that product ID number, okay? And then you should be fine. Next up, the product title. Now on the product title, this is crucial, guys. Do not shortcut this. Product title is one of the most important things on your listing because it will make Amazon understand as to where your product stands and how well it will rank. So therefore make sure to add and include all of the keywords that your customers would use to find your product, okay? Now, depending on the time of the year will depend on how many characters Amazon will allow you to put in the title. So try and put in as many keywords as possible, the most relevant keywords as possible in that title. Next up, we would put manufacturer. Here, you put in your name or your business name or your brand name. Do not put your Chinese supplier's manufacturer's name because you're just providing your competition with information to let them know where you got the product from, so then they can speak to that supplier and get that same product maybe at a discount or something like that. So don't provide that information because it's not necessary. And last but not least, brand name. Now this is very important for you guys because a lot of people have had issues with it, okay, with getting various error codes from Amazon because effectively your brand name is not registered. So a couple of pieces of advice. Number one, what you can do is just type in NA or various variations of the name NA and try and save and continue. At the end of the day, all you need to do is be able to save and finish this listing. That's it, okay? If that doesn't work, try and come up with various names to allow Amazon to save and finish. And if that doesn't work, then provide Amazon with the necessary images of your brand name, even if it's not registered, okay? Amazon has been cracking down on products that have not been brand registered. However, at the same time, when you're just starting off, Obviously, you're not going to register your brand straight away because you don't even know if that product is going to sell. So my advice is just type in NA and you should be absolutely fine. And if you're not, comment down below and I'll try and help you out as much as I can. Next up, that is really, really important. We're going to change that to the advanced view and we're going to go on to offer. Okay, now the offer here is where you type in your price. Okay, the seller SKU, leave it completely blank because that is going to be given to you by Amazon, and that is basically your SKU is like your number for the warehousing space that your product is going to take up. So just leave that there. And then condition, make sure that that is new as well. Okay, you cannot sell anything but new in terms of yoga mats on Amazon. Okay, and that's pretty much it. The only other part that I would say is that you need to obviously care about is potentially the max order quantity. And here people sometimes put in 5 or 10 maximum because they don't want a supplier potentially to pre-order 1,000 of your items, get you completely offline and not selling on Amazon anymore, and not pay for that product. So they basically, once they order, they have 28 days to make that payment, and what they can do is they potentially can mess up your listing. So put a max order quantity of about 10 to make sure that that doesn't happen. And last but not least, and also very, very important, is to make sure you choose the correct fulfillment channel. You either have a choice of fulfilling the orders yourself, i.e. merchant fulfilled, whereas an order comes in and you from your warehouse will pick and pack the order and then send it via post office, or you get Amazon to dispatch and provide the customer service on your behalf. And to make this a business that is, it's substantially growing over the long term, you want Amazon to take care of those logistics, because that's the best way of you growing exponentially very fast from 1 to 5 to 10 products. You can also merchant fulfill yourself. However, if you are only working on yourself, there's only going to be so many orders that you can pick and pack every single day. Next up, we have very, very important as well is the images. Okay, now images is by far the most important part of your listing. It is what is going to get your customer to decide to buy your product as opposed to somebody else's. Okay, and there are a couple of guidelines that you do have to care for and basically take into consideration. Make sure that your product, first of all, image is very, very clear and in high resolution, high definition, so people can actually even zoom in onto that image to see the quality of the product. Also, make sure not to put text or watermarks or anything else on the image, because it is going to get your listing suppressed, and Amazon will ask you to change that image, and until you do so, that product listing will not go live. Also, make sure that you have a completely white background, okay? Plain white. You cannot be colored, it cannot be cream or anything like that, because it will trigger their algorithms and therefore get your product suspended again. And then last but not least, make sure to put time and effort into getting your images sorted properly, okay? Don't just use the Alibaba's versions of those images, because they're not good. Chinese suppliers are not great web designers and graphic designers. So make sure to get a professional photographer or somebody at the very least on Fiverr.com to take good pictures of your images so you can really showcase your product, because that is one of the main reasons why a lot of products actually fail, is because they try to shortcut when it comes to their images. Okay. Next up, we have the description. And this is also very important, and it's twofold. Number one, we have the product description, where you describe the product, how it works, where it should go, etc., etc. And that is important because it's one of the fields where you can put in a lot of keywords that Amazon will use to rank your product as highly as possible. But more importantly than that is the key product features. And this is the part where you see right next to the image the 5 main important parts of your product. Okay, and in here you have to make sure to use as many key phrases as possible, because this is the second most important part of your listing when it comes to putting in the search terms that people will use to find your product. If you do shortcut this part, your product is going to be listed on page 10, 20 and will be stuck there because Amazon has no data to grab your listing on and no reason for putting up your listing on the first and the second page. And then the very last, we have to put in the keywords, and this is the search terms. This is the back end keywords. This is where we tell Amazon these are the precise words that we want you to think of our listing when it comes to our listing. Okay, so in here I would put in yoga mats, exercise mats, and various other mat related words. Okay, and you need to do a little bit of research on here as well to understand what keywords people use to find that particular product, because you'll be surprised as to the different variations that people use to find that product. Okay, and also just a very good tip, pro tip so to speak, is also make sure to use kind of vague words as well, such as women's gifts, exercise gifts, things like prime or cheap, and various of those sorts of words, because people may type in, you know, gifts for women, exercise gifts for women, or cheap yoga mats and stuff, and you want to make sure that you are listing for those keywords as well. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you guys found it useful. It's so important that you make sure you do this correctly. So if you do have any questions, please don't forget to comment down below. I will try and help every single one of you out as quickly as I possibly can. We also do have a mentorship program that I will leave a link in the description down below. So if you're interested in that, and if you want me to mentor you throughout this process step by step, then check it out. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.